Do you ever indulge yourself in a bit of boxing? Well, of course, you know me, I watch it all the time. Two competitors, who are close quarters to one another, analysing every bit of their opponent's movements to find the right time to go for the correct option and secure themselves a hit. Baiting them in, and using good movement to evade hits from their opponent. Now, everything I just said can also be applied to a stupid children's party game we have all put more hours into than we'd like to admit. So with that, let's talk about understanding close quarter combat in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Close quarter combat, or CQC for short, is when two players are in close proximity to each other and have the opportunity to potentially go for a hit. So you see these two geezers here, they are about to engage in some exciting close quarter combat, but there is a lot to consider when in a position like this. In this video, I'm going to explain the importance of close quarter combat and show examples of how to really capitalise on it. Throughout the video, I'm just going to shorten close quarter combat to CQC. As you know, saying the whole thing is a bit of a mouthful in it. So, a lot of characters in this game have really quick aerials with low landing lag. This can make it hard to understand what the most effective options in these CQC situations are. So let's show an example, Chrom vs Byleth. So Byleth has run up and shielded whilst Chrom is approaching. Chrom uses a spaced forward air, and in response to this, Byleth commits to an up special out of shield, and well, gets punished for it. So why didn't this work? Well, Chrom spaces forward air, which is -4 on shield. This means that moves that are frame 4 or faster will be able to punish it. But yeah, in this game, very few options can punish that if they have already been pressured into shield. See, the thing is, if this move was misspaced, then it would be the perfect punish. So what could Byleth have done to avoid being punished in this situation? Let's come back to this situation a little bit later, once we have a better understanding on how to deal with CQC situations. To really understand this CQC situation, you need to be familiar with what jump squats are, and have knowledge on shield properties. I've left timestamps in the description, so you can easily come back and refer to certain bits if you want to. Right, let's get on with it. If you've played competitive Smash Ultimate for long enough, you will know that a universal jump squat is frame 3. Taken straight from Smash Wiki, a jump squat refers to the length of time between the input of the jump and the moment the character leaves the ground, and this cancels the shield drop animation. So if your character has a frame 6 aerial, like our friend Byleth over here, you need to consider the jump squat, which is 3 frames plus 6 frames, meaning your out of shield option comes out on frame 9. So, if a move like Chrom's -4 fair is spaced on shield, yeah, you can't punish it with this option. Now, let's talk about shield properties. You should know that the shield drop animation is a total of 11 frames, meaning you cannot act again until this animation is over. Keep this in mind when your opponent is pressuring your shield. So for example, dropping shield and then using Byleth forward tilt, the quickest it will come out on is frame 19. If your opponent uses something that is really laggy on your shield, then you can consider using an option like this. But yeah, don't even bother if they use something safe. Another important thing to note about shield is that if you are hit whilst holding shield, your grab comes out 4 frames slower than if you weren't hit. So Byleth's frame 6 shield grab is now a frame 10 shield grab. And the reason for this is because it's a very counterintuitive mechanic, but it's something that you'll need to consider in CQC situations. Final bit of shield information now. If you use either an up B out of shield or an up smash out of shield, this will ignore the 11 frames of shield drop. So when Byleth uses an up smash here, as there is no shield drop animation, it will come out on frame 13. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the nitty gritty. So, let's show an example of a CQC situation. This time, when you and your opponent are next to each other in shield. There are various options a player could potentially choose here, so let's analyse them. Committing to an aggressive option. If you read a jump or drop shield and commit to an aggressive option, it could give you advantage as it could put them in an even tougher position. However, this seems to be the most common option a lot of mid-level and even high-level players use. If you commit to this option and let's say your opponent continues to hold shield, then you'll likely be punished. Commit to a grab. If you read your opponent is going to stay in shield, commit to the grab. However, the main counterplay here is to spot dodge, which beats grab. Nothing more to say about this, to be honest. Retreating to give yourself more space. If you're both in shield, then you may opt to fade back and give yourself space. If you're not confident you can capitalise when you're in shield, then giving yourself more space to work with could help you maintain stage control. By giving yourself more space, you have given yourself more breathing room and therefore more options to help push advantage. Just to be aware that giving yourself space also means your opponent has more space to work with as well. This could help them close space and reset neutral. Despite this, giving yourself space could help you escape situations you're unconfident about capitalising on. This is because you are no longer limited to just using options out of shield. Keep hold of shield. If you have been keeping track of your opponent being aggressive in various situations, then you may consider to keep holding shield. If the other player commits to the aggressive option, you have the opportunity to punish it. There are some very trigger happy players out there, so it's something you should definitely be scouting in a situation like this. All three options are good to keep in mind if a similar CQC situation happens in your own game. Keep an eye on your opponent's habits and use whichever option you think is best in the moment. You may not always make the correct call, but being aware of your various different options will massively improve your decision making in CQC. But what we need right now is a CQC situation in practice. So listen up class, here's a set of me playing a tournament from a few weeks ago. As you can see, I'm in the corner versus Link, which is never an ideal situation. I throw bike to apply a bit of pressure in the CQC situation. However, my opponent's F-tilt clanks with the bike. You can see I hesitate to approach to try and punish him. Due to his positioning, I wasn't confident that I could punish the lag on his F-tilt, before he could throw out a hitbox and counter my approach. Instead, I fade back to give myself a bit of space to see how he would react when we engage in a CQC situation. He uses a rising nair, which gives me confidence that if I were to approach him in a similar way again, he would commit to an aggressive option. I run up shield, he commits to an aggressive option, and as a result I'm able to win the situation and regain stage control. This is a prime example of how you should be thinking about all these minor situations, as these can get you a lot of mileage in games. Now you know more about CQC situations, let's come back to the situation I talked about earlier in the video. What can Baltha do versus a safe spaced aerial? He could roll to give himself more space. He could keep holding shield if he reads another aggressive option, or he can commit to an option if he reads the opponent being aggressive or going for a grab. These are only a few examples of this specific CQC situation, and let's not forget how all of these situations have counterplay too. The key thing here is for Bal to have a better understanding of the various available options to him and pick the best one. This sounds obvious, but a lot of players tunnel vision these situations and don't consider the various options available to them. So, to really make the most out of CQC situations, think more about how they are going to approach you. Throughout the game, has your opponent been approaching you in a more grounded fashion, or do they cater towards approaching you more in the air? Are they respecting you more by running up and shielding in neutral, or do they keep committing to lazy approaches out of the corner? These are minor things which you should be considering in your play to really be able to capitalise on CQC situations. Even if your characters are pretty mediocre at a shield game, you should still be considering all of these points so you can pick the best option. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you enjoyed, like and comment as there will be a much higher chance the friendly people at YouTube will promote my video, and of course, subscribe as that'd be pretty cool as well. Check out my last video which was about what to consider when stage banning in tournament, or if you're struggling with your mentality when you enter brackets, then here's a video on ways you can help improve upon it. Much love guys, and I'll see you all next time. In a bit.